There is no clock in heaven, no time too late, no season too far gone. And when the Almighty begins to restore you, even your ashes will bloom. There are seasons in life where you look back and wonder where the time went. You stare at old photographs, reread old journal entries, or walk through familiar places and whisper to yourself, "What did I even do with those years?" Maybe you stayed too long in a relationship that stripped you of your worth. Maybe you worked a job that never honored your gift. Maybe you were consumed with survival, raising children alone, battling sickness, nursing grief, making ends meet while the dreams in your heart gathered dust. And now you find yourself standing in the middle of life with a heart full of questions and a soul full of what-ifs. But beloved, hear this truth and let it settle deep. Time lost is not time wasted when it has passed through the hands of God. He is not limited by your calendar. He is not confined to your schedule. He does not operate according to your deadlines or your age or the timelines the world imposes upon you. God is not panicked by the years that passed in silence. He is not worried about your delays. The same God who turned water into wine in an instant can turn your delay into destiny. What seems lost to you is still alive in his hands, waiting to return to you in a form greater than you imagined. Because when God gets involved, nothing is wasted, nothing. Not even the seasons of confusion, the moments you wandered, the days you cried in secret, the nights you begged for answers. What looked like wandering was refining. What felt like stagnation was sanctification. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. You see, you serve a God who takes the leftovers and makes a feast. He takes broken timelines and writes perfect endings. He takes the time you thought was ruined and he plants purpose in every lost hour. The relationships that failed, they taught you discernment. The job that drained you, it revealed your strength. The years you spent questioning your worth, they were the years your spirit was learning to trust in something deeper than applause. You weren't falling behind. You were being rerouted. You weren't losing. You were learning. You weren't forgotten. You were being fortified. And no, it didn't happen in the way you dreamed. No, it didn't come in the time you planned. But that's the beauty of divine restoration. God doesn't just rewind the clock, he redeems it. What should have taken a decade, he can do in a day. What others worked for with favor, he can give to you through grace. What the enemy tried to steal in your lowest moments, God can multiply when your heart is ready to receive again. You may feel behind, but God has a way of accelerating you into alignment. He has a way of opening doors you never knocked on, placing opportunities in front of you that you didn't have to chase. He restores not by taking you back to the beginning, but by meeting you right where you are and pouring into your present so fully that your past becomes just a testimony of his mercy. Even now, even as you read this, he is working quietly, faithfully, piecing together the fragments you thought were too scattered. We serve a God who is not in a hurry, but is always on time. And when it is your time, you will not need to explain why it took so long. You will not have to justify where you've been. The fruit will speak for itself. The peace will shine through your presence. The anointing will carry weight because it was forged through years you thought were wasted, but were in fact sacred. There are aches in this life that bury themselves deep. Not the kind you speak out loud, not the kind that gets sympathy or public prayer, but the kind that sits in your bones, quiet, constant, familiar. The kind that stretches across years, that reshapes who you are, that lingers in the silence between your breaths. It's the pain you survived when nobody saw, the pain you carried while still showing up, the pain you walked with like a shadow, ever present and uninvited. You have cried in bathrooms, smiled through heartbreak, listened to others while your own soul was screaming for someone to just ask how you were doing. You've picked yourself up more times than you can count, and not because you were healed, but because you didn't have the luxury of falling apart. You've kept going when everything inside you was begging for rest. You've kept loving when your heart was fractured, and you've kept believing in a better day even when every piece of evidence told you it wasn't coming. And yet you made it here, still breathing, still standing, still rising, even with the tremble in your knees. And you wonder, what was it all for? Why did I have to go through that? Why did I have to lose them? Why did I have to suffer in silence? But let me tell you something the world forgets to say. The pain you endured was never in vain. Not a single tear went unnoticed. Not a single night of confusion was wasted. Not a single heartbreak failed to shape you into something stronger, wiser, deeper, more compassionate. What you went through didn't destroy you. It revealed you. It refined you. It carved out a capacity in you that ease could never have created. Pain has a way of introducing you to yourself. It strips away the shallow. It forces you to confront what's real. It stretches you beyond what you thought you could endure. And in that stretching, in that sacred breaking, you became someone the easy path could never have built. You became a person who understands sorrow, who can hold space for others, who knows how to sit in silence and still feel the presence of God. There are some things you only learn in the fire, some wisdom that can't be taught in comfort, some strength that only rises in the storm. That pain, as heavy as it was, became the soil from which resilience grew. It watered your patience. It deepened your faith. It reminded you that survival isn't weakness, it's divine perseverance. And no, not every wound has healed the way you wanted. No, not every answer has come. But look at how far you've come without the closure, without the apology, without the justice you deserved. Look at how your spirit still knows how to find light in the darkest rooms. Look at how your heart, though bruised, still beats with purpose. That is not a coincidence. That is the evidence that pain did not steal your destiny. It prepared you for it. You see, God wastes nothing. He is a master artist who uses every shade, even the darkest ones, to complete the portrait. And while you were breaking, He was building. While you were losing, He was setting the foundation for gain. While you were crying, He was bottling every tear, not just to soothe you later, but to restore with interest what the pain tried to take. So don't resent the pain. Don't curse the process. It may have been ugly, it may have been unfair, but it was never in vain. Something in you woke up because of it. Something eternal in you grew because of it. You carry wisdom now, not the kind found in books, but the kind forged through fire. You carry presence not just from survival, but from the deep awareness that you've walked through storms that should have drowned you. And you carry power, not loud or boastful, but quiet, rooted and unshakable, because you've seen what pain can do, and still you remain. There's a quiet kind of grief that comes not from what happened, but from what didn't. The years that passed without the love you longed for. The doors that never opened no matter how many times you knocked. The call that never came. The opportunity that never arrived. The life you dreamed of that never seemed to take shape. It can haunt you. The feeling that time has slipped through your fingers like water, and you have nothing but regret to show for it. You look around and it seems everyone else is ahead, everyone else is building, moving, becoming, and you're still waiting, still hoping, still asking why. You begin to question everything, your choices, your path, your worth. You replay the moments where you turned left instead of right. You wonder what could have been if you'd known then what you know now. You carry the weight of missed chances like chains, dragging them from one season into the next. And somewhere along the way, you start to believe the lie that because you missed it, because it didn't happen when or how you thought, it won't ever happen at all. But here's the truth that heaven has been whispering to your soul in the silence. You are not defined by what you missed. You are defined by what God is preparing for you. You are defined by what's coming, by what's about to be birthed into your life. You are not a product of delay. You are a vessel of divine timing. You are not behind. You are being positioned. The absence of one thing doesn't mean the absence of everything. Just because a door didn't open doesn't mean another one isn't swinging wide behind the scenes. Just because a person walked away doesn't mean love is no longer on your path. Just because a season dried up doesn't mean the soil of your life isn't fertile. In fact, the emptiness is often the greatest sign that fullness is on its way. You see, God does not leave you empty without intention. When He allows you to feel the ache of what you don't have, it's not to punish you, it's to prepare you. That ache is stretching your faith. It's teaching you how to live by vision, not by sight. It's shaping your character so that when the blessing does arrive, you'll have the maturity to hold it. You'll have the wisdom to keep it. You'll have the humility to carry it with grace. You are not your missed moments. You are not your lost years. You are not the relationship that fell apart or the dream that seemed to die. You are the promise that still stands. You are the seed that's still in the ground, waiting for its divine season to rise. And when that season comes, you will look back and see it clearly. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Every delay was direction. Every no was protection. Every loss was a clearing for something greater to arrive. Your story is not over. Your story has not even reached its peak. What God is about to do in your life is going to make sense of every unanswered prayer, every lonely night, every tear you cried, wondering if He had forgotten you. He hasn't. He's been writing the next chapter, not with a pen of pity, but with a pen of promise. He's been crafting a blessing so tailored to your soul that when it arrives, it will feel like home. You are not defined by lack. You are defined by what is coming. What you're about to receive will outweigh what you lost. What's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. The miracle is already in motion. The promise is already unfolding. And when it comes, you won't have to fight to keep it. It will fit. It will flourish. It will feel like it was always meant to be because it was, just not before now. There is a quiet stillness in the middle of a drought, a weight in the air, a heaviness that settles not only in the earth but also in the soul. You try, you water, you wait. Day after day you tend to dry soil. You speak life over barren ground. You stretch your faith, stretch your heart, and stretch your hands toward heaven. But nothing seems to move. Nothing shifts. You look around and all you see are cracks. All you hear is silence. All you feel is the ache of hope that hasn't yet been met. It's in those seasons that your spirit begins to question, not just the world, but yourself. You wonder if something is wrong with you, if you misheard the promise, if you wasted your time, your love, your obedience. You look at the seeds you planted, faithfully, tearfully, humbly, and ask, where is the fruit? You see others blooming and you celebrate them, but deep inside you whisper, Lord, have you forgotten me? But droughts are not denials. They are not punishments. They are sacred pauses in the story of growth, seasons of hidden preparation. Because what you cannot see under the surface is often more powerful than what you can. The roots are deepening. The soil is shifting. The seed is learning how to survive in silence. And so are you. You are not being ignored. You are being fortified. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. The delay is not the absence of God. It's the presence of process. And no matter how dry the ground feels, the heavens are not empty. The clouds are gathering. The harvest always comes after the drought, not before it, not during it, but after. Because it's only in the drought that you learn how to trust beyond your senses. It's only in the drought that you learn how to walk by faith and not by sight. It's only in the drought that your soul grows strong enough to carry the abundance you prayed for. You see, if God gave it to you too early, you would not have the roots to sustain it. If the rain came before the seed had matured, the harvest would be shallow. But when the rain comes after the drought, oh, how sweet the water tastes. You must understand that the silence is not empty. It is full of preparation. God is not stalling. He's not ignoring you. He's refining the blessing. He's pruning your life. He's aligning the right people, the right moments, the right doors. And when it breaks forth, it will not trickle. It will pour. Not a slow drip, but a downpour of grace. A release so rich you'll forget the weight of the waiting, not because it didn't hurt, but because it worked. And the beauty of God's harvest is that it doesn't just restore what you lost, it multiplies. It makes up for the seasons of lack. It fills the rooms that used to echo with emptiness. It colors the spaces that once seemed gray. He doesn't just give you back what was stolen, He gives you more than what you had the faith to ask for. The drought taught you how to kneel. It taught you how to believe when there was no sign. It stripped you of pride, of pretense, of depending on people and performances. It made you real, and now when the harvest comes, you won't just eat, you'll appreciate, you'll protect it, you'll recognize it, because you earned it, not with striving, but with faith. The season of lack will not last forever. The clouds are forming, the ground is softening, and soon the same field that once looked empty will bloom with promise, dripping with the evidence that God never forgot the seeds you sowed in tears, the prayers you prayed in the dark, the hope you held when everything in you wanted to let go. The harvest always comes, but only after the drought. There are moments in life when we find ourselves staring into the past, wishing for just one chance to go back. Just one conversation undone, one decision reversed, one path not taken. We mourn time like a lost loved one, aching for the days we misused, the years we slept through, the seasons we gave to people or things that never honored our hearts. And somewhere deep in that ache is a longing to rewind it all, to undo the damage, to relive what we now see with clearer eyes. But God doesn't deal in rewinds. He is not the author of regret. He is the architect of redemption. He doesn't press rewind, He presses restore. And where the world says it's too late, heaven says now is right on time. Because time in the hands of God is not linear, it is layered, it is not lost, it is transformed. You see, when we cry out for time to be reversed, what we're really longing for is peace, closure, wholeness, a sense that what was broken has somehow been made whole again. And God hears that cry, but instead of dragging you backward, He draws you forward. He takes the broken pieces of your story and weaves them into something stronger than the original, something wiser, something more resilient, more anointed. Redemption doesn't look like pretending the past didn't happen. It looks like seeing the past through a new lens, one that reveals the fingerprints of God in places you thought were abandoned. It looks like standing in the same space that once broke you and realizing it no longer holds power over you. It's knowing that the years you spent lost, confused, off course, or in silence were never discarded. They were being repurposed. God redeems time not by erasing your history, but by giving it meaning, by placing value on your survival, by honoring what you learned in the dark. He redeems the relationships that failed by sending ones that heal. He redeems the opportunities you missed by creating ones you never expected. He redeems the lost years by accelerating your impact, your growth, your wisdom. And when it comes, it will come quickly, not because you rushed, but because you endured. That's what redemption does. It returns with interest. It pays back not just what was stolen, but what was wasted. The energy you gave away, the tears you cried, the confidence you lost, the dreams you shelved. God redeems it all. And when He does, it won't feel like starting over. It will feel like stepping into the life that always had your name on it, waiting for the right moment to unfold. You don't need to beg for the clock to turn back. The same God who created time sits outside of it. He knows how to make the last become first. He knows how to take the seed that's been buried the longest and make it bloom the brightest. He knows how to turn your delay into destiny. He knows how to redeem your reputation, restore your name, rebuild your joy. Your job is not to rewind. Your job is to release, to trust that nothing is lost, to believe that your story is not defined by what you didn't get, but by what God is still preparing. Your timeline is not broken. It's being rewritten with grace. The doors that didn't open weren't the only ones. The people who left weren't the only support. The chances you missed weren't your last. And so you must walk forward with the faith that God's redemption is bigger than your regret. That what's ahead of you holds more glory than what's behind you holds pain. That no moment is too damaged, too far gone, too stained for His hands to restore. He is not trying to take you back. He is trying to take you beyond. And in that, there is no waste, only redemption. There is a sacred kind of silence that covers the life of a person walking through a storm. You show up, you smile, you keep going, but beneath the surface, you are unraveling in places no one can see. You cry where no one hears. You break where no one notices. You battle quietly because the world expects you to be strong, to be stable, to be whole. And so you suffer in private. You bleed in the background. You carry your burdens behind a veil of composure, not because you want to deceive, but because you don't want to be pitied, misunderstood, or looked at like a lost cause. But what they didn't see is what God saw. Every night you curled up in silence, asking Him if it was still worth believing. Every morning you got up not because you felt hopeful, but because hope was the only thing left to hold. He saw the moments when you loved through betrayal, when you gave while empty, when you prayed while in pain, when you served